It's a beautiful morning. Super Chloe. Shoot. Do I need glasses? I called you for something and I don't remember what it was for.
Because you sent me a picture of you with the plants and I was like, I didn't see them all. And I sent you a face like, what do you think this is?
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, my name is Griselda. As you can see by the title of this video, I am going to be doing a glossy halo eye makeup look. I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across this really beautiful image of Kourtney Kardashian. I think she looks absolutely stunning. I love the whole entire look. I feel like the makeup is just so beautifully done. I love the color, I love the glossiness. So I decided to recreate the makeup look. The makeup artist that did this makeup is called Maya K Makeup. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I will link her information down below, but I think she just did an incredible job overall. She looks super flawless and I just love the whole entire look. I wanted to do something a little different on my channel because as of lately I feel like I have been a little bit too comfortable. So if you want to see how I create this look, then just keep on watching. First, we're gonna start off with the Clean Fresh Prep and Set Water Mist by Covergirl in the scent Cucumber. All right, so for primer, we're gonna be using the Henriksen. This is the Banana Bright Primer. We're just going to apply that all over the face. Primer really extends the wearability of the foundation. It blurs out imperfections. Like, who does not want blurred out imperfections? I know I do. And what I really love that it does, it instantly brightens the skin. Your skin doesn't look dull, it looks bright, it looks smooth, and it also looks really nicely hydrated. For foundation, we are going to be using the brand new Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation. This is a 24-hour undetectable super long wear foundation. I am going to be using the shade Praline. It is oil-free, oil control, water resistant, and transfer proof. It is also infused with coconut oil, alpine rose, and hyaluronic acid, which you guys know are amazing benefits for the skin. The coconut oil is going to keep the moisture on the skin. The alpine rose is going to keep the skin looking and feeling really healthy. And the hyaluronic acid is going to help the skin look super smooth and very youthful. This foundation is going to give you a buildable coverage. Not all foundations need to be full coverage. Sometimes you want to be able to wear a foundation that works well for your skin, but in many different ways. So one of the days you may want to wear the foundation super lightweight, and there's going to be those other days that you want to have a full coverage foundation, and this foundation does that for you. Another amazing benefit that this foundation has, that it also blurs out your imperfections, so it almost gives you like a Facetune-ish effect. All right, so for concealer, I'm going to be using my Nars Creamy Concealer in the shade Medium 1 Custard, and I haven't used this concealer in quite some time, but the reason why I'm using a more hydrating concealer is because the foundation is already matte, so I don't want my under eyes to look super matte. The consistency of the creamy concealer just kind of balances out the under eye because everything else is going to be completely matte. I feel like everything starts coming together once we set the under eyes. I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier translucent powder and this Sigma High Cheekbone Highlighter brush. This is the F03 brush, and as of lately I really have been loving using flat brushes to set underneath the eyes because it really works the product into the concealer and it seals it to give it that really nice smooth under eye look, and it also helps prevent the under eye from creasing, which is what we all want. And it brightens, and I'm going in with a double layer of setting with the brush because I don't know if you guys have noticed lately, but I haven't been really baking underneath my eyes. I have just been really working the translucent powder right underneath the eye, and I have noticed that I don't really need to bake. We're gonna be using the Morphe Originator Bronzer with this wavy 130 brush from Makeup Forever. And we're just gonna warm up the skin. In that look, Kourtney is really sculpted, so I'm gonna really focus the bronzer like right underneath the cheekbones. You can see the definition of the face, so that's why I'm just going back and forth like this with very little pressure because I don't want the bronzer to get muddy. I'm just going back and forth to add that definition to the skin. So I went ahead and I did one eye off camera because I really wanted to play around with this look and I wanted to make sure that I executed it, and I think I did a pretty good job. I did the glossy lid. I think for this look, especially if you're going to be doing this just for photos or for a photo shoot or music video or whatever this look is going to be useful for, I would highly recommend to do the glossy towards the end with whatever you're going to be doing it with, because it can crease, but you can easily just kind of blend it all together and then it goes back to like that glossy look. One of the things that I always like to do is I always like to go in to kind of blend in the eyeshadow with the glossy so it looks really nicely blended. You have to just be a little bit more tedious with the blending and go back and forth just to make sure that it looks nicely put together. Let's go ahead and do what we did on this eye on this side. We are gonna prime the eyes. We are gonna be using our P.Louise eye base, and we are going to be using the shade Rumour number 4. And I'm putting a generous amount of the eye base because we are going to be topping the eye with a gloss. I want to make sure that the rest of the eyeshadow still stays in place, so you want to make sure that you prime the eyes really well. And I'm using a flat brush because I want to make sure that the base is really opaque. Usually I go in with a fluffy brush because I like to apply it on and then blend it out. But because I am using vibrant colors, I want the eyeshadow to really stand out. So I'm using a flat brush to really make the base opaque. And then towards the end, I just go in with my finger to kind of blend out any harshness. And I'm just gonna grab my translucent powder and just set the whole entire eye. To do a small transition, I'm gonna be using this eyeshadow by MAC. It's called Keep Still. Still? It has a J in there. Keep Still. But we're gonna pick that up with this Morphe M314. And we are going to start placing that a little bit above the crease, and I'm going in an upwards motion, like really focusing that like right below the brow bone. And then I want to also bring it in the inner part, and I'm leaving this center part semi-open. I still want to brush the eyeshadow through that part, but not so much. And then I'm also going to bring that eyeshadow right down below. And we're gonna be creating that halo effect down here as well. So when I'm bringing the eyeshadow in, I kind of flick it out and then move towards the outer part. And I'm also bringing it outwards towards the temple. So for the eyes, we're gonna be using the Maddie Zieglers The Imagination palette in collab with Morphe. Next up, we're gonna pick up this color called She Insists. And I'm using that same brush, and we're gonna place it on the outer corner in the same direction that we placed the first eyeshadow. Kind of upwards and out. And then also place it in the inner part of the eye. And then we're just gonna drag it out. In that photo, it looks like she created a winged out look with eyeshadow. You're gonna do the same steps with the bottom lash line. And as you can see, I'm just leaving that gap above and underneath. Okay, so next up, we are gonna pick up our KVD Beauty. This is the 24-hour Super Brow Longwear Pomade. This is in the shade Roxy Purple. I've used these before on my brows, but I've never used them anywhere else. We are gonna pick up a pencil brush. This is the 517 Lapis by Melt. And the reason why I'm using a pencil brush is because I want precise application. And this is not only going to give me the precise application that I want, but it also is going to blend out the product before it dries down. I don't want to use a small fluffy brush because I feel like it's just going to diffuse the pomade into areas that I don't want. I want to focus the product in a specific area to create that halo effect. And the pencil brush does exactly that. You just have a little bit more control of the placement, and you're also buffing it out at the same time. These pomades are so pigmented, and I love that you're still able to kind of blend it all out. And then you're going to do the same thing towards the outer corner. I'm also pushing the product upwards, kind of flaring it out with whatever is left on the brush, and then doing the same thing in the inner part, but kind of pushing it towards the brow. And you still want to leave that empty space in the center because that's what's going to give you that halo effect. And this brush also is pretty dense, so not only is it going to place the product right exactly where you want it, but because it is a pomade, it will dry down, but the brush is also helping moving the product without me having to go back in and add more product. I'm going to use the tip of the brush with very little product, and I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom, and we're just going to move that back and forth, still sticking to that halo effect. Make sure that you seal your pomade right after you use it so it doesn't dry down. To blend everything together, I'm going to pick up She Insist again with that same blending brush. One thing about this makeup look is you are going to be spending a lot of your time blending out the eyeshadow with a pomade. You can use a darker eyeshadow, but because you are going to be using a glossy product on top of it, I want something that is going to hold the eyeshadow in place. So that's the reason why I'm using a pomade instead of just going in with eyeshadows. Now we're going to pick up this color called Go Home with that same pencil brush, and we're just going to start popping that in the inner corner and then pushing it upwards on top of that pomade. And this is just gonna add dimension to the halo effect. I like to switch between the pencil brush and the fluffy brush just to make sure that the blending is even on both ends. Okay, so now for the center color, we're going to be using this color called Angel. It's a white frosty with like a peachy iridescent, and I'm going to place it a little bit above my crease. That's going to give it that halo effect. And then I start moving it towards the inner part and the outer part of the eye, and I'm packing a generous amount of eyeshadow on top because we are going to do a bit of a gloss on top of the center. It may lose some of the eyeshadow, so the more that you can pack on, the better. And then going back in with that blending brush, you can just start blending everything together, and you can definitely leave it like this. You don't have to do a gloss on top of it, but because I really loved how that glossiness looked, I wanted to recreate the whole entire look. But you can most definitely leave it like this and rock it like that, and this is a more wearable look. Like I said, if you do add the gloss on top of the lid, the wearability of the eyeshadow is going to be less. You're not going to be able to walk outside and just have a glossy lid because it does break down the eyeshadow. Okay, so now picking up this color called Pantera with this KVD Beauty 70 brush. We are going to place that in the lash line, and I'm only placing it on the outer part of the eyeshadow just to add a little bit of dimension, and then also at the bottom very lightly. I'm not even picking up any more eyeshadow. I'm just using whatever is left on the brush. We're also going to bring the Angel eyeshadow right down below. And then for my waterline, I'm going to be using my Nars Bonaparte. Just a neutral eyeliner inside, so I wanted to keep that going. So in that look, she's not wearing any false lashes. I decided to pop lashes on because I feel like I just wanted to amplify the look just a little bit more, just to give it a little bit more of a glam look. I definitely love how it looks without eyelashes, but for the purpose of this video, I just wanted to give it more of a glam effect, so that's the reason why I did lashes. But for mascara, I'm going to be using the brand new Pat McGrath mascara, and this mascara gave my lashes life. I don't know if you guys have tried her other fetish mascara, which is amazing. This one is called the Dark Star mascara, and the brush really coats every single lash and lifts at the same time. It really gives it that extraness. And like I said, you can definitely just wear the look like this, because in that photo, Kourtney doesn't have any false lashes. She's just wearing a ton of mascara. You guys will be able to compare with and without lashes in just a second. I always feel like lashes make a huge difference, so that's the reason why I popped on some lashes. But again, you can definitely rock it without the lashes and it still looks really pretty, especially wearing this mascara. This mascara is so good. What I really love about it is that it gives your lashes that natural false lash effect, but they're your own lashes. So this is what it looks like without lashes, and this is what it looks like with lashes. I feel like the look definitely is a little bit more amplified with the lashes because it gives you more of a glam look. This is a little bit more editorial, just like how it looks like on the Vogue cover. So for the glossiness effect, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Slik Balm, and I'm only going to place it right above the crease, not so much on the lid space. So I decided to go in with the Powerchrome Loose Eye Pigment in the shade Shockum mixed in with the Huda Slik Balm. So the wet look can pop a little bit more because the eyeshadow has that 3D effect. My lips, I'm going to be using my Sweet Tea lip liner. Her lips are pretty neutral in that photo, so we're just going to keep that going. For lipstick, I'm going to be using Natasha Denona's I Need a Nude in the shade Susanna. So for gloss, I'm going to be using the Alamar Birthday Suit. Alright you guys, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to do something just a little different because I feel like I've been doing a lot of browns, neutrals, very soft looks, and this is a little bit more creative. Like I said, this look is definitely not a wearable look unless you're skipping the gloss effect on the lid. I really loved how this look came out. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.